Hi, it's Ty, and come with me to the Pretoria Vintage Market today. I unfortunately could only attend the morning, so it's just going to be a quick look around, and if you were there in the morning, you might have seen me, and here's a little fit check. The afternoon had some more interesting events take place, so if you were there for those, let me know what it was like. I got there at around 20 past 10 and it was already quite busy, so the earlier the better, as usual with these events. At the front part of Irene Village Mall, this section I felt was a little bit more dedicated towards food trucks and food stalls with a few odd shops in between, but really the smells of food and just the diversity of food here was incredible. Anything you could think of, sweet, savory, donuts, dumplings, it was all there and it all smelled really, really good. I'm not even really a small donut fan, but these looked fantastic. Once you pass this little carousel, you then enter through the main entryway to Irene Village Mall, and this is where I feel the most of the vintage shops were concentrated, with a few odd exceptions like this little plant shop, and lots of jacket shops all over the place. For the vintage section, there were vintage paintings, vintage furniture, all sorts of vintage collectibles, decor, art, very little separation or signage really between the shops. So in a sense, it gave more the feeling of just being one really large market for the most part, which was also pretty cool and just fun to walk around in and see it bleed from shirts to jackets to shoes into decor into art. It was just a fun experience to walk around the place and walk around it several times, each time seeing something new. Here, under this kind of canvas tent is where I felt the most of the true vintage pieces were located. Glassware, all sorts of cameras, decor. It really, there's no specific label I could give it, including the super cool dragon teapot that I had to tear myself away from. What I really enjoyed of this event was you could actively hear people bartering and interacting with each other. There was a real sense of community and it was just a lively event, which was fantastic. One shop that I did manage to find the name of because of these little business cards was Billy Moon Art and Antique, so shout out to them. They had some really cool and interesting pieces, some things that I don't even know what they were, but they were fantastic to look at either way. Some stalls also had items behind glass cases and without price tags, so if you wanted to learn a little bit more about these, you would have to ask. And yeah, it was just super cool perusing and going through all of these very interesting and some odd and cool things, including this really cool pig that I saw. The shop had a bunch of interesting pieces and then also a whole host collection of vintage cameras. Many of them were actually working and on display. This event is also dog friendly, so I saw many cute dogs, which was fantastic as always. When you left the more central area, I felt the stalls, still they are mixed, but they sort of took on more a local craft element, so local food, local sauces, local jewelry brands, local scents, this little bonsai and flower shop, which was also really cute to see. And then, of course, the odd ones sticking out, like this vintage Disney toy collection shop, which was super interesting, right next to delicious desserts, of course. Near the food stalls, there was also this bookshop right next to a vintage jacket stall shop. And if you were into jewelry, there were many choices for you as well, including this one, which I also saw a sign for Helen's Best Finds. She had some really gorgeous pieces and also some really fashionable customers that she was helping out. I think that's what I also really love about these events, especially some older, really fashionable people are just walking around and just kind of living their life and adding to their already incredible fashion collections. If you love jewelry, like I do, this event was fantastic because there were just endless stalls with endless amounts of gorgeous rings that I would have really wanted to add to my collection. And there you go. This was my quick look at the Pretoria Vintage Market. Thanks for coming with.